what's up, everyone? Let's see, we got G. What's good, Gio? What's up, Ashley? Ground Big Marquee, what's up? What's up? Hey, Ashley. Um, your dress and your hoodie is gonna go out tomorrow. Pretty excited to get that to you. Not much, just hanging out, man. Waiting for G to get in here. We got Ken from Ford Nationals. He's the event manager of Ford Nationals. We have him joining the live tonight, so it should be cool. What's up, Artem? Oh man, yeah, I'm trying to get G in here. Not much, man. I actually need to check out your channel. G, I'm trying to accept you, but it's not letting me. I don't know why. Accept. Let me see if I can try to request them. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's Panther driving? I need ball joints and brakes and tires. I'm supposed to be driving to Ohio next month, so we'll see. I appreciate it. Hopefully the ER is pretty good for you. Ford Nationals is in here. Ken is in here. I'm trying to accept everyone. It's not letting me accept. I don't know why. This is strange. Here we go. Homework in here. What's good, homework?
What's good, everyone?
I'm trying to accept G, but it won't let me accept them. Let me see.
G, send another request.
Yeah, homework was able to get in. Let's see.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Ken?
Hey, how are you guys?
Pretty
Guys,
good. How are you?
all hanging in there. Just here at the office.
Nice. And we have G here as well.
Cool.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's up? It was scaring. Instagram was scaring me for a second. It wasn't letting me accept anybody. So.
Yeah. How's it going, Ken? Welcome.
Hey, guys.
So thanks everyone for joining the live tonight. We have Ken. How do you pronounce your last name exactly?
It's Appell. I know it looks like Apple, but it's Appell. So.
Oh, okay. So we have Ken Appell here, from event manager from Ford Nationals. We have G, one bad Panther, who runs Philly Panther Meets, and we have Hoonwork, the two-time reigning champion of the Ford Nationals burnout competition. So thanks everyone for joining. Thank you guys for taking the time out to hang out with us tonight on Instagram Live. And yes, it's pretty exciting. I didn't get a chance to meet you, Ken, at Nationals last summer, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I unfortunately end up pretty busy, so we have a lot of people. Handle all our different moving parts. With 60,000 people coming through for the show, it gets crazy.
I can imagine. I can only imagine like the stuff you have to do walking around.
It's fun though. I'm an enthusiast just like you guys. I've had numerous different Fords. Actually, I think I have 13 Fords right now sitting at home. So trust me, been there, done that. Had a wide array of them over the years. So
13 is a big number.
Enthusiast before I came for this event. So.
Nice. One of the questions I was going to ask you later, but I guess we'll ask you now is, what is your favorite Ford?
I was going to ask this.
Honestly, that's a loaded question. I really don't have a favorite. I know that sounds dumb, but I really, if I had to pick, it would be depending on different things. Like for example,
top 3.
See, I'd almost have to say it would be a top 5 because you need a truck, right. You need a daily driver, you need a fun car that handles, you need a muscle car, and then you need something that's just, quite frankly, unattainable in my mind.
And of course, you need a truck.
Yeah, so that would be probably I have a 50,000 mile 96 F350.
Oh, wow.
Straight up, no rust, crew cab, 8-foot bed. There's a local Navy depot around here, and it was their fire truck for the longest time. and it popped up on Auto Trader for an insane price, not the prices you see on Bring a Trailer and at the auctions, and it was like a cheap, insane price, and I like picked that up. You know what I mean? But then you got like daily driver. Like right now, I'm driving a 22 Maverick, the little Ford pickup truck. My wife loves that thing. She likes to go pick up different, antiques and stuff like that in it. And it's not my F-350, but it handles really well. At least for a small little pickup. If I had to say like the unattainable, I'd probably say like an original, probably Mark II or Mark III GT40. I don't got the coin for that, so that would pretty much be attainable, but it would be cool to say the least. Muscle-wise, I know you guys are a Panther platform, so it would be a toss-up between probably a Fox Body Celine, which I've owned one of those before, or it would honestly be probably a Marauder, late model Marauder, that is. I love just the clean look of an old Marauder, or not old Marauder.
You have good taste.
But late model Marauders for sure. And then I'd probably say like just for something that handles, and I have a couple of these, it'd probably be a Celine Focus. I know that sounds odd, but they only made a couple of them, and those cars handle like crazy straight from Celine essentially. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I always had a soft spot for like 63, 64, the Galaxy Fastbacks, the 500s.
yeah.
So definitely looking to check out some of those at Carlisle.
Yeah, there's actually going to be 2 R-Code Galaxies in one of our buildings, and then next year, this is a little bit of a tidbit that's not really released yet, but the Galaxy Nationals, they're bringing in their event for next year here to the Ford Nationals, so that'll be a huge, probably 100, 200 Galaxies, which is awesome to see. So
I definitely have to be there next year too. Then.
Yeah. I'm planning out till. Let me look at my notes over here. Till 2028 right now, I have stuff planned. So That's how crazy. That's how many anniversaries and how many basically different groups are involved. You guys are one of our big groups and one of our big clubs. I think you guys actually ranked pretty high in the top 10 the other day. When we were talking about our different clubs and all that. But, there's over 100 different clubs that make up the Ford Nationals. Not all of them have a tent. Like you guys have a tent, but there's some that just come in because they're 5 or 6 members strong. And, they're just as important as a club that's 300 members strong. So.
Nice. So, you touched on it. For people that don't know, it's 50 years of anniversary, your 50th anniversary for Nationals at Carlisle.
It's actually it's 50th anniversary of our company, which would be Carlisle Events. Next year will actually be the 30th anniversary for the Ford Nationals. Ford Nationals actually didn't start till 1995, I believe. It's actually one of our, believe it or not, it's actually one of our youngest shows. That and our GM Nationals are the youngest of what they are. Corvettes was one of our spring and fall shows, which are mainly swap meets. They were our first shows. Then we branched out into Corvettes, trucks, import replica is what it was called then. Now it's import performance because we kind of integrated the tuner stuff into it. Chrysler's at Carlisle, GM Nationals. We've had a number of different events throughout the years. But yeah, it's 50th anniversary of the company, so we're kind of excited about that. In Building T, down by the T-shirt store, there'll actually be a really cool timeline display that our marketing group and our creative department's putting together. It kind of shows some of the history of not only the company, but of the fairgrounds too. A lot of people don't know that, but the infield of the event actually was a racetrack at one point.
I know that.
Yeah, there was actually a track. Like you'll be able to see those photos. And they actually did racing back in the day on it. Wish we kind of had that now, but to an extent, at the time when they looked at having the track basically taken out, it was mainly because they were looking at doing car shows and not really looking at racing at that point. Nothing against it. That's just where they were going at as a company back in the basically early 80s. So
that's pretty cool. One of the questions I had for you also, something that Ford Nationals last year was like the first time I've been to a huge car event like that in my life. And Venom Invasion, their section is just it's crazy every year I heard, and last year was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Like what are your ideas on their club?
I actually really like what they do. They're actually a pretty cool group, mainly out of Jersey, but they've kind of branched out nationally.
Okay.
Venom Outlaws brand. They actually really have a great club gathering down there. A lot of different members. I believe last year they were over 300 members, maybe at least over 200 members. I can't remember their exact number. But if you saw their display last year, that was killer. It was a full-on house. And yeah, I mean, that was just insane to see. The year before, it was a pirate ship. And they actually bring in, when we talk about decorations at a tent, 2 days prior to the event, starting on Tuesday, they brought in two rider box trucks full of basically props to decorate their tent. That takes a lot of different effort from their members. They come in, the group kind of finds out what tent they're going to have when we send out our maps.
Yeah.
And some of our tents stay up between the different shows. So they'll actually come in and measure to the millimeter the tent that they're getting when it's up at our import show, and basically craft their stuff between our import show, which is in middle of May, to basically the Ford Nationals in the beginning of June. They'll make sure that their stuff is that dialed in. And I know that sounds crazy, but hey, they do a great display every year, and it's actually a really, really unique thing that basically nobody at any of our shows has ever come close to what they do. So
yeah, last year I think they had like the haunted house theme last year.
Yeah, we don't get to pick who's the coolest club, but John Clore from Ford Performance, great friend of mine, great friend of the company. He actually goes around and picks coolest club, and not only does the coolest club have to be the coolest decorations, it could be something you're doing. Sometimes it's charity involvement. Sometimes there's other stuff. It doesn't always have to be the decorations, but from a decoration standpoint, Venom's killing it. So.
Yeah, they do a great job. I was impressed. I thought I was at a theme park for a second.
Yeah, it was that crazy. It was that awesome.
So for everybody joining in, we got Ken from Carlisle. Do you want to give a rundown of Ford Nationals for everybody, because it is the largest Ford event in the country, if I'm right?
Believe it,
or one of the
in the world. It's actually the world's Ford show and Ford swap meet, encompassing all brands. And that doesn't just mean Ford. That includes Mercor, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury. We've even had some coach-built stuff like from Brewster. We've had Ford tractors, and we'll actually probably see some of the Ford tractor group here in the next year or two. We'll have some other really cool stuff as well, basically as part of the upcoming years that I can't really talk about at this point. But as far as brands, it is all encompassing from a Ford standpoint. We even have Edsel. When was the last time you went to a Ford show and saw an Edsel? And the Edsel group is actually going to be doing a big anniversary here coming up too. We talked about Galaxies earlier, but Edsels are, they're going to be insane here, hopefully in the next year or two when they do their anniversary. But getting back on topic, it's the world's largest Ford show, the world's largest Ford swap. It's over 3,400 cars on the show field, which is quite remarkable. If you walk every row in the show field, you're probably walking about 8 miles when you do it. I know it doesn't seem like that, but the entire fairgrounds, if you walk every row, is about 14 miles. And the area below the grandstand, obviously, is the swap meet, which is the world's largest all-Ford swap meet. And that's growing every year, which is actually really cool to see. That actually has a lot of different parts down there, whether it's basically for something all the way from Model A, Model T, all the way up to present day. I mean, you guys know this in the Panther platform. I don't have to tell you this, but Ford pretty much discontinued a lot of stuff from the 90s and early 2000s, which is a lot of your cars from a parts standpoint. Down in the swap meet is actually the best place to find some of that stuff, because close by, the closest next swap meets are, at least for the Ford market, are really in Ohio and Michigan. Well, there's a lot of Ford employees out there, so that stuff doesn't really get out at those events. It usually trickles out to the East Coast here. The stuff that kind of went out the back door or was supposed to be trashed per se. A lot of that ends up in a swap meet throughout the years. I know as an enthusiast, when I actually came to the event, I would actually find some really cool stuff down there in the swap meet. I have friends that shop it. I have my family that checks it out down in the swap meet, and they're grabbing stuff, left and right. My family's quite eclectic in the Ford market. 3 generations back are Model A, Model T people. Parents are kind of muscle car oriented, as well as on my wife's side, more dirt track oriented. And then basically before that was very Thunderbird heavy. And actually some of my family that's current day cousins and stuff like that, they're into Galaxies, Fairlanes, and Thunderbirds themselves, as well as Mustangs and stuff like that. So kind of from a Ford family. So, they're down there in the swap meet and they're looking for anything I might need. But they're just like you guys, looking for that hidden gem, the diamond in the rough, whatever that part might be, that if you can't find it here, it probably doesn't exist, or you're never going to find it, to say the least. We've even had people talk about they found cool Ford corporate displays down in the swap meet. So things that basically everybody's talking about, the whole garage mahal type things right now, where people are displaying their collection of cars as well as cool parts and stuff like that. There's a lot of unique parts down there in the swap that were promotional parts or show parts or this, that, and the other from a different vehicle. And we've actually seen some of that stuff pop up here. And then basically people are celebrating that stuff in their own garages after the show of, hey, look what I found at Carlisle. Our old slogan, you'll actually see this as part of our 50th display, was founded at Carlisle. And that still rings true to this day. But beyond the swap meet, there's the manufacturer's midway. That's where you'll see Ford Motor Company. That's where you'll see Celine, you'll see Roush, you'll see Shelby. You'll see a bunch of different companies, Modify Mustangs there, KTL Restorations there. Who's on my board? Last year we had RTR there, a couple other different big groups that show up. But basically that midway is full of new parts, new cars, new stuff basically in the market that you would basically never see. And speaking of Ford, they're going to have some really cool stuff at the show. I can't go into that just yet, but we actually were supposed to have a call tomorrow. Due to some vacations, that got pushed, but we'll have some really cool announcements coming in the coming weeks of what Ford plans to bring out to the show. Other than that, what we're celebrating this year is 60-year Mustang. The 60-year Mustang is a huge undertaking. We're doing basically one Mustang of every year, split into an entire tent. That's going to be well over 600 feet long, going basically from one to the other, which is actually really, really unique and cool because you'll be able to start at 64 and a half and go all the way up to present day. I actually just posted on our Facebook about probably 5 minutes before this started that we're actually still looking for a 74 and an 81 Mustang for that display, but we've got every other year represented. We're also doing a Mustang Legends display in Building T, which will be basically legendary Mustangs throughout the years. We'll also have the Y Block anniversary or Y Block reunion going on. That's basically going to happen in a tent in the North Field, kind of up near where you guys are, basically celebrating all the different Y Block Fords throughout basically the 50s generations and stuff like that. There's some really cool one cars in that display, so definitely check that out. There's also 40 years of the SVO. Believe it or not, it's 40 years of that product, which is hard to believe when you're thinking about Fox body Mustangs and all that, but we celebrated 40 years of the Fox not long ago too. We also have 50 years of the Mustang too. Believe it or not, 50 years for that. So it's absolutely crazy what we've actually seen, pop in. So
Yeah, and you also have some drivers as guests as well, right?
yeah, we can't go into exactly that fully yet, but we're actually going to have some announcements coming there. Actually, we might have one tomorrow. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I have to ask the person who's booking that in, but we'll have some drivers as well. There's also different activities back at the autocross track. I know you guys are big supporters of the burnout competition. I know obviously our reigning champ is on this video here, but basically the burnout competition happens on Saturday night, but we also have autocross going on throughout, or autocross ride-alongs throughout the day on Friday and Saturday. That's with our friends at Gateway Mustang. They're actually going to be running some dark horse Mustangs for Ford this year down on the track, and kind of showing off what the dark horse can do. We don't have that announced yet, so you're kind of hearing it here first. We also will have some drifting on Friday evening down at the track, and we have the Real Street Shootout, which we moved to Sunday to kind of accommodate basically people that want to do autocross but still show their car earlier in the week and not have to worry about getting it all roughed up and all that sort of stuff. So,
All right.
Yeah, Rob's thrown the gauntlet down in the Panther community for somebody to come take the title from him.
Yeah,
So
we need more competitors this year. We
yeah,
need to
yeah.
5 or 6 Vicks at least, Ed.
Oh, there should be 5 or 6 Vicks.
Just
There should be
for
5 or
fun.
6 Mustangs. There should be 5 or 6 trucks. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll take 20, so stack it up.
Yeah, because the last few years there was way under the 10. So if you can get more than 10 this year and put on a good burnout competition.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of it is people want to get down to the downtown parade, which we do on Saturday night.
Yeah,
a
right
lot of
after
people,
the burnouts.
yeah, a lot of people want to be first in line for the parade. Well, it's actually funny from a parade standpoint. You actually don't want to be first in line. Yeah, you're right behind Ford as you come downtown, but you're actually, if you're first in line, you're actually kind of going to some of the more off the beaten path spots when they park you downtown. You're going to actually be more towards the southern end of town than the center part of town. So don't rush down to get lined up or rush over to the Expo Center to get lined up for the parade. We tell people that all the time. What you really need to do is basically wait a little bit, go watch the burnout contest, compete in it, and we'll go. I mean, you can head right over to the Expo Center and get lined up. The parade's not leaving the lot till 6:45. The burnout competition is usually around 5 o'clock. If you can't make it literally an eighth mile over to the Expo Center to get lined up for a parade in probably an hour, so you're doing something wrong. You need to walk faster, or you need to find that long skinny pedal on the floorboard there.
I remember last year when I blew my tires for the encore and the car shut off on the pad. It was the inertia switch that shut off.
Oh, that's
blew the left rear so hard, it popped the inertia switch.
That's the worst. I've had that happen too, where it's like you hit the inertia switch when you're working on it, and then you're like, "Why is the car not working?"
Yeah.
So to fill everybody in that's joined us, we are a registered club with Carlisle, Panthers United, which is Deric, myself, Rob, also Dale from Crown Vic Documentary. And so Panthers United was actually born on the phone with you, Ken, because we had registered with you as Panther Magazine. Then you got back to me and said that we weren't able to register a company as a club. And so you and I were on the phone, and my mind was going like 100 miles a minute trying to think of a name. Well, I had you on the phone because I know your time's limited, and it just hit me like Panthers United. So the Panthers United was born when we were on the phone that day.
Yeah, yeah, it really was. But yeah, that was actually kind of the cool thing. And you guys are obviously a huge group now, so it's cool to see that. So, I mean, actually, it was. Yeah, I was down at Holly Ford Fest back in October, and ended up, seeing some Panthers United representation down there, which I thought was really cool. So it definitely blossomed, to say the least. So.
And while I'm on it, I do want to speak on the fact that, you and I have talked that there's a number of Marauder owners who were kind of pissed at us because of Panthers United and them getting moved off the hill. And when you and I talked initially, I told you, we didn't want to interfere with what they've been doing. So just for the record, you guys moving them was your decision, nothing based on us. So,
No, we want to keep, when we do our show field layout, we want to keep like vehicles together. And obviously, they're Panther platform stuff. And from a standpoint of who had more registered, quite frankly, you guys did. So, from a group standpoint of where we need to accommodate, that's just where it works out. And a lot of people get, stuck in their ways of, well, we've been here for 10, 20 years. That's great, but an event does have to evolve from a standpoint that, at one point, there is going to be a move, and we're looking at some stuff that I really probably can't go into too much detail on, but in 25, we're going to see some changes here on the fairgrounds. A lot of them good from a standpoint of our events and the facility and all that sort of stuff. And with that, we're going to see some groups get moved around because of it, and it's nothing we can do. I mean, there's sometimes that it's just as something as simple as, hey, this club tent may have been there for 20 years, but we didn't know where that club tent was, that there was a gas line sitting under it that was predating the fairgrounds itself as our ownership. And it was unmarked, and it might have been at our spring show or our import show that our tent, one of the tent contractors basically hit that line, and then we got a gas leak. Well, that tent then had to move. I know it sounds as stupid as that, but it just is what it is. So,
and one thing I'll say last is, years ago, I had a 70 Camaro RS, and I went to the GM Nationals and actually found an original Camaro console. There was a number of them, and those were hard to find at the time. And so, yeah, even the GM Nationals, like your swap meet is amazing there. Like, there's everything you could think of.
yeah, and I run our spring swap, which is coming up here April 17th through 21st. And you've all been to the fairgrounds. Imagine the entire fairgrounds as a swap meet of parts and cars, from one fence to the other. And then we have an auction going on a collector car auction going on over at our expo center. So you actually see stuff that you might see at the Ford show here at our spring swap. You also see stuff you don't see at the Ford show that it might just be a guy cleaning out his garage, or you mentioned it, a Camaro guy that might have, a set of Crown Vic wheels or something like that he picked up for a roller or something like that, or it was his wife's daily driver and he's selling it for cheap. I mean, there's lots of deals at the spring show when you find that brand X seller that is selling Ford stuff and they could care less about the Ford stuff. So it is, it's definitely, if you haven't made it out to spring Carlisle or fall Carlisle, they are just swap meets that are literally fence line to fence line across all 80 acres. And you can find pretty much anything and everything there. So
yeah, it's like a different world, that swap meet section. I remember walking through there and I was just like, there's a lot of stuff over here.
You never know what you're going to come across.
Yeah,
It's
it was like Marauder wheels and everything.
All the way from Model T and Model A all the way to, Navigator wheels.
Yeah.
So you never know what.
Yeah, our one owner, he's into 4GTs. He found some 4GT stuff down there a couple of years ago. And a buddy of mine, he likes to go looking at like the sellers that have dollar tarp pieces. One story I always tell that he found a couple of years ago down in the swap meet is there was a guy who had a bunch of dollar tarps that basically it was just Ford parts just laid out for $1. Well, he started getting on his phone, checking out the eBay Motors app, stuff like that, seeing what he could find. And lo and behold, he found a 05 to 06 4GT emergency brake handle. Those go for like about $1,000, and he found it on a dollar tarp just by, just checking that stuff out. So you never know. Don't pass those dollar tarps up, those dollar bins, whatever it might be. Especially for you guys with the Panther platform stuff, you never know what, may be sitting in there that, hey, if it's not Mustang, somebody might not, care for it. But the reality is, you guys know it. Some of that stuff's discontinued, and it's unobtainium in your cultures. So.
Yep. That's true. I mean, last year, I think I seen a bunch of Marauder wheels for sale. And I have a 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis now, so if there's any Marauders wheels for sale this year, I might have to grab some.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Deric, were there any questions that people had submitted, or did you have any?
There was one question that was more about it was more of a repairs question more than a nationals question.
Okay.
About front sway bar bushings. Um getting
They,
weird noise. Um
yeah, they could hit us up
yeah,
separately about that. We try
I
to help
took a
them out.
screenshot. I'll hit them up after this definitely. Um
Uh,
I had
and
one question I had for Ken was when was the last time the Panther platform had such a big section um prior to last year?
To be honest with you, you guys are probably the first in a long time, probably since the Marauder was a big deal and new. Pretty much that was first time we've seen it
Yeah, yeah.
happen. So, and a lot of the credit is to you guys for putting that together, as well as I know you guys got some interesting stuff for this year. You guys got the documentary that you
yeah,
guys showed too. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I'm actually
documentary is pretty cool.
waiting on Dale is had put together a teaser thing for you guys about showing it at Carlisle. So as soon as he gets that to me, I'll email it to you.
cool. Yeah,
Because he was,
on our social media, including our Ford Nationals Instagram and our Ford Nationals Facebook page. So yeah, if you got that, send it over. We'll throw it on our website too. So the sooner the better. It helps drive
yeah,
you guys more members and more attendees. It helps us in the end. So
yeah. For people to know, at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock Friday and Saturday, we'll be doing showings of the Panther People documentary with Dale. We'll be showing it throughout the day at the tent. And so yeah, there'll be a teaser. I'll get to as soon as Dale sends it to me. I'll get it to Ken. The other thing is thanks to you, Ken, also for helping us out with the vendor spot that we'll have this year.
Yeah, big
yeah,
thank you for that. That's awesome.
set up too. So because you guys ended up right by the food court, right?
Yeah, we got that spot that you had checked in for us, so it's prime real estate.
Yeah. If you're down by the food court, you're listening on this. Definitely check out their spot. You're gonna have some cool stuff down there. So
Especially for someone like me, I like to eat, as G knows.
yeah,
Every Panther meet, every event, I have to get some food in my system. So
yeah, literally you're right across from it then.
yeah,
So
exactly,
no excuse.
exactly.
So
Yes,
between
Yeah,
that.
we'll have to get Deric to bring you he'll bring you a shirt too for the Panther magazine.
yeah.
cool.
I'll make you a box. I'll just bring you, and when I see you in May, I'll just give you a box full of stuff from Panther magazine. So
Cool.
yes, sir.
Appreciate it, guys.
No problem. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Do you want
helping
to,
us out with the vendors and stuff like that. So
Ken? Do you want to tell people just if they don't know, like we made a number of posts, but let them know like about admission and what that includes?
Yeah, so there's different types. You have basically the daily admission, which, believe it or not, starts on Thursday. If you're looking to come in on Thursday, you can actually come in Thursday. If you have a show field pass, that's not only a great day to register if you forgot to do it in advance or anything like that, but Thursday is actually early bird shopping day, more and more each year. Not so much in the Midway and the show field, obviously, area, but down in the swap meet. That's when everybody's unloading their stuff. That's when sometimes you can get that best deals. So definitely Thursday is kind of when it starts and goes till Sunday. Admission for just a walk-in pass, that does not include parking because we don't have parking inside the fairgrounds itself. Um, each walk-in pass $15 Thursday to Saturday. Sunday it drops down to $7, or if you had a ticket from earlier in the week, you basically get in for free if you have the early pass. You can get an entire spectator pass for $30 for the weekend. Once again, that is a walk-in pass. Or if you're basically registering for the show field, that gets you in with you and a passenger all weekend with parking for your Ford vehicle in its proper show field class. That does run $70, but it's actually a better deal than buying the parking or the event pass for spectator and walking in and paying to park outside, whether it's in one of our lots or one of our neighbors' lots or something like that. Our lots are $10. Some of our neighbors are upwards of $20, especially the closer you get to the gates. But basically, if you're considering that, your best bet would be to register for the show field. If you're bringing in any sort of Ford vehicle, it's welcome on the show field. You don't have to be all about showing it and this, that, and the other to do that. But basically, it's $70 without any discount. Right now, we have our Gate and Go discount, which saves you 10% off that, which gets you down to $63. That goes till April 15th. You also get your pass in the mail with that, which saves you a lot of time at the gate. So that way you don't have to stop over at the registration building, get out of your car, go in and register and all that. Not that we make it a pain or anything like that, but if you know you're coming anyway, why not do it in advance? We mail you the sticker. You don't have to get out of your car. You slap it on the car before you even get to the gate. You know, when you're at your hotel in the morning or you're leaving home or this, that, and the other, and cruise right on in and maximize your time at the event. By doing that, it also helps us know how many people to expect as well. So that way we can lay out a proper area for your different cars and all that stuff might be as well. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So yeah, but more info, if you need any more info on the event at www.carlisleevents.com.
Yeah, and kids under 12 are free, right?
Yeah, and we actually do a pretty cool kids program that we have kids goodie bags down in the guest services building. It is a limited first come, first serve deal, but there's a coloring book in there. There's a drink coupon. There's a cup in there. There's even free Hot Wheels. We actually just got in 6,000 Hot Wheels the other day to insert goodie bags. I know it sounds crazy, but we have literally a whole pallet sitting in a warehouse here on the fairgrounds, basically waiting to get those kids goodie bags for the whole season. So we'll split them up, probably do about 500-600 per show, and get them out to the different kids. Because if you put that Hot Wheels in a kid's hand and they're not a car person, after they play with that Hot Wheels, the likelihood is, they're going to be a car person. I mean, I'm probably just like you guys. When I go to Walmart, for the bread or milk with my wife, I got to go check the Hot Wheels aisle. I mean, that's what it is. So,
yeah, and we're actually going to be doing we're revising the Panthers United logo slightly, and we're going to do special colors each year for Carlisle. So it'll be like a limited edition. So this year we're going to do Ford blue and white. Next year we'll do a different color combination. But yeah, every year going forward, Panthers United will have a collector sticker that we'll give out to everybody. And we'll also have them available. People can grab them at the tent that are walking by. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
Rob, do you have any questions?
Who's going to beat him this year?
There was one question about with the last year with the autocross. I remember there was a few guys that wanted to sign up that weren't able to because they were running less than 100 tread wear on their tires.
Yeah, so we call it a real street shootout. So basically the real street meaning it needs to be basically a tire that is truly streetable. We have the rules on our website about that, but yeah, it does need to be. You can't run R compounds. So
they were saying like 200 tread wear or higher.
Yeah, they're like the Toyo R888. Yeah, and that's not a streetable tire. I mean, you can't drive that. I mean, it may be DOT approved, but that's why we have that tread wear rating to keep it a true real street shootout. So.
Yeah, those Focus STs, they dominate that.
Yeah. Last year, actually, I think it was we had a GT350, it might have been one of your Panther platform people, and I think a Fiesta that ended up in the top 3. I could be wrong on that completely. I mean, my mind, you can't remember some of our events back to back as far as who won what and all that.
I think it was the GT350 last year. He just kept getting faster and faster and faster, and getting more confident in his car, and he wound up having a mean time.
Yeah,
I made it. I made it pretty close to. I made it into round 2 with my Merc, and then I ran Sunday when they were doing the, where you could just go and do the free runs, and I made it into like the 46s. It was pretty impressive compared to the ST was running like 43s.
Yeah, that's usually pretty close to where they end up. I was just trying to see if I could look up who it was, and I unfortunately don't have my notes from last year on who won that one readily available. But there is some rules to that. I do believe it's either this year or next year helmet ratings are going to update too. So check your helmets if you're planning to compete in that. Make sure that whatever we state on our website matches up to what your helmet is rated at. So we all know there's a Snell rating and all that stuff to them, and that's not our rules. That's insurance's rules. So
Yeah. And if
I can't do anything. I mean, the insurance says, hey, that's not what they want.
Yep.
I mean, can't let you run. It is what it is. So
You have to go by.
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lose my job over somebody having a helmet that is out of date. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and if you win the burnout contest, you get free registration for the next year.
yeah, you do.
So,
You do.
Yeah, it's my third year. I only paid for one.
There you go. Right?
Need someone to try to come and change that this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a lot of people challenged you last year, and I think it was you and it was a Mustang, and I think it was Mr. Random Reviews, right?
It was the random with his Reaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Town car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So,
But I definitely recommend wearing a helmet when doing the burnout comp, because when that tire blew, I'm glad I had the helmet on.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't
Like, boom.
yeah, it's not a bad idea to say the least, for
Not a
sure.
bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, safety first. I unfortunately don't get to see the whole contest. Usually I'm in and out, I mean, going on to our next activity by the time that sets up. Usually we're setting up for the parade like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm down there for the beginning of it, and then I'm usually jetting out sometime 2 runs into it. So I unfortunately got to miss it, but I mean, that's part of just my job and running events. And I mean, not everybody on our crew gets to see everything. While the burnout contest is going on, we have teams flipping for award stuff for Sunday. We have them calculating the show field votes and all that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, looking at, I mean, did anybody cheat, or was there anything that we noticed that was odd? I can't go into it too much because we don't want to give our secrets away, but we have a system that pretty much looks for a lot of the ways to cheat, the copying the ballots, the club voting per se, all that sort of stuff. We don't disclose it, but we have ways to track everything. So we have teams doing that stuff. We have teams doing cleanup. We have our security teams making sure everybody's getting out the gate safe. I mean, unfortunately, we all don't get to see every single thing that goes on at the event. So I'm just like you guys, and I mean, I'd love to be down there for the burnout contest, but I see the first couple, and then I got to jet to something else. So
yeah, I've hosted a lot of events and stuff, and like I know you got to be exhausted afterwards because it's just running around putting out one fire after another. So
it is. Our team's really great, though. We have about 25 full-timers across the entire company, and then we have probably 200 part-timers on a weekend like the Ford Nationals. And our team is really well-oiled, experienced. Even like pretty much mostly everybody in our office has been here for a long time. We have a couple people that are newer, and they really complement what we have been doing over the years and really do a good job at showing basically all Carlisle can do for the enthusiast and all that sort of stuff, just like you guys. So you can actually really give a lot of credit to our staff, whether they're the guy picking up trash, whether it's the person checking you in for your goodie bag, whether it's somebody directing you traffic-wise, all the way up to our people that deal with Ford Motor Company and some of our top-line sponsors, and some of the people you don't see that are in the background that handle our financial services or some of that sort of stuff. The people that handle our insurance, for example. You don't see all of them out on the field all the time, or you can handle, something as simple as sending a check to pay for something. Those people you don't really see out there, but they're part of our well-oiled machine. We do this, 365 days a year. Minus really weekends and holidays. So we're in the office all that time for the most part, or we're at other shows trying to learn what we can do better. I hit probably 10, 20 different events a year, and we're always looking at how we can improve. You can't even go to places like Disney World. My wife loves to go there, but you can't go there without thinking, hey, what is Disney doing that we can apply to our events? I mean, our minds are always going when we're out at different things. So, I mean, it's crazy when you're, I mean, shopping in a store and you're like, that's something we could use, or that's something we could do differently, or whatever it might be. And I mean, you get together as a team, and I mean, we're always looking to improve. That's why we ask for surveys at the end of every show too, to kind of, I mean, find out what we can do better and all that sort of stuff. I know I saw somebody commenting about on this feed about the classes for something for a V6 Mustang, I think is what it was. I mean, we classes all the time. As far as that goes, the classes are based on registration. So if you want to see a bigger class or a split class, you got to show up in registrations. I know we talked to you guys about the Panther platform stuff and expanding that from just a normal full-size class, and you guys showed up in numbers. We made you guys declare. So
we expect to keep growing each year. We expect to grow by 10, 12, 15 every season.
Yeah.
I believe this year we should have at least 5 to 10 more than we even did last year.
Yeah, and that'll grow your classes even more. I mean, we'll start having to split that stuff out, and we're actually getting ready to look at some of those splits going into our go deadline here probably in the next week or so. I was actually looking at cleaning up classes earlier today when I was in the office, making sure that cars are in the right class before we look at splitting classes up. So, or combining classes in some scenarios where the numbers just aren't there and haven't been for some years. So, I mean, that's credit to the V6 comment that was there. I have numbers up right here. We combined the classes because there wasn't enough in those years. It just is what it is. But then you have you guys who now we're looking at splitting into multiple classes because you guys showed up in such big numbers the past year. So
Yeah. Do you I guess so a two-part thing. Do you want to, I guess, share the website information about it, and then I'll ask the second part for you.
yeah, I mean, all of our stuff is on carlisleevents.com. That's how you can register. That's how you can buy tickets. It's how you can book a vending space like you guys did. So.
And so the second part then is with the classifications. Like I said, there's 4 clubs. You can register with us with Panthers United. There is a division with the town cars and the Panthers. So it's the Grand Marquis and the Crown Vics. Marauders have their separate club. But do you want to, I guess, speak on that, and then what our grouping is for everybody?
Right now, I think, let's see, class 765 is 1979 and up, Ford LTD, Crown Vic, and Marquis. So basically that's that class. If you're a Marauder person, the 03 to 04 Marauders, that is. The stock class for the 03 to 04 Marauders is 761. The modified class is 763. But even if you're listening, you don't have a Panther platform car. I mean, we have other classes as well for pretty much anything and everything in the Ford market. So
that actually leads me to a different question. So some categories I know you have stock, modified. Do you want to explain that? And our group is just as one grouping right now with the Panthers.
Yeah, it really depends on numbers. And we kind of start looking at that pretty much right about now, whether we split into multiples. I'm actually going to pull yours while I have it. Everything's electronic here, so we can pull reports on anything and everything. So it's kind of really cool to basically be able to take those numbers and extrapolate them from that. So like your class is actually one of our classes that we have in a Warden category right now, because you guys have just in the 79 and up Crown Vic, LTD, Marquis grouping, you actually have 17 vehicles right now, and it's tracking like you actually might be closer to probably 30, 40, which is probably what you guys are expecting, right? I would assume.
Yeah.
So we're probably, our class standard is roughly 10 vehicles to make a class. 20 is when we start looking at splitting them. So you guys are right there at splitting them. Whether we go into stock or modified, or whether we go to Crown Vic versus Grand Marquis, that's yet to be decided. We kind of got to look at those numbers and see what modeling would show one way or another. So
I personally think a good class can be fleet vehicle, retired taxi cab, NYPD, FDNY. Like last year, fan favorite was Angels.
The taxi cab.
Taxi cab is New York City taxi cab at the parade. Everybody wanted to sit in it. Everybody wanted pictures with it. He opened up the back door. People were intrigued by it. To see a New York City taxi cab in downtown Carlisle was special for a lot of people.
And that class, I forgot, does exist. It's what we call factory mods, including police vehicles. That is class 911 essentially. So actually one of our guys just stopped in. We're still working. I mean, it's almost 9 here on the East Coast and we're still working. So, but basically that's a whole nother class for those sort of specialty vehicles as well that might not fit into other stuff. But that class is one of those classes that if you want to still be in your proper Crown Vic, Grand Marquis, whatever it might be, class, you could be in that, or you could be in that class. I know we had a guy with a limo a couple of years ago. I think it was a Crown Vic limo. I can't remember.
Made town cars.
Town car, that's what it was. And he ended up in that class. So he could have ended up in the town car class too. So it kind of all depends. And I forgot about the Lincolns too.
Yeah.
The Continental platform stuff, they have their own grouping as well. So a lot of different Panther platform stuff basically spread throughout the different parts of the field and throughout different classes. So like I said, we have a class for everything. So
do you want to I guess because
had an old Chevy with a Coyote in it.
Yeah, that's not really. We do pride ourselves on being Ford bodied, Ford powered.
Okay.
Main thing being Ford bodied. So yeah, we wouldn't let we had a guy ask about a Dodge with a Y block in it. While it's cool, and yes, we are doing the anniversary, we do have a Dodge show or a Chrysler show as we call it. That would probably be more applicable at. It's not like we don't have a product here at Carlisle that somebody can't attend. So.
Yeah.
So on that note, do you want to speak about the difference between, even if it doesn't apply to our class, like there's a lot of people that have Mustangs that still have Panthers and stuff. Like Rob's car is modified, my car is pretty modified. Do you want to talk about the difference with the modified class, like the basics of that?
Yeah, so we have a guidelines actually on our registration store that kind of lists what is deemed a modification. Basically 3 modifications is allowed. 4 is where it gets sketchy. And basically when we look at modifications, there are some, like if you do a supercharger, well, you're not just throwing a supercharger on, you're doing more stuff than just a supercharger most of the time to throw it on a vehicle, whether it's a Mustang or whether it's a Ford truck, a Focus ST, or whatever it might be. You're doing more work than just bolting on a supercharger to do that. So some of those modifications automatically throw you into modified. Things like custom paint throw you into that. Any sort of wide bodying that's, like a Liberty Walk kit or anything like that. You've done some extensive work to basically get to that point. So some of those things throw you automatically in modified. But 3 modifications is kind of where we've always landed as far as stock. When you get to 4s, when you need to start counting on that list that we have on our website to see if you fall into it. And our list isn't all inclusive. There's new modifications coming out every single day. I can't go on eBay or any of the other stuff or even the Summit catalog and limit it to 100 different modifications. We all know there's millions of different modifications out there for any sort of grouping of vehicles. So we can't catch them all, but we ask people to use common sense. We do have a group or team, like I was mentioning about some of the other stuff that goes around and looks at classification. They're also down there where you pick up your goodie bag in case you notice a vehicle that's been misclassed as far as from a stock modified or even just doesn't belong. They will basically go out, verify what you're saying on the vehicle, and make an adjustment if need be. So,
Hey, Deric,
get the stuff.
Question for you: did you register yet?
I'm gonna register as soon as we get off tonight.
Hey, Go get a posse, put in that Grand Marquis, win the
Yeah,
burnout
it
cup.
needs some
You
work.
want
It
the
needs some
register.
work. I might throw a thrush muffler on there, and I might throw some stuff on there. But registration is happening tonight.
There you go.
Can't go past tonight. I've been procrastinating, to be honest. I'm really excited
Yeah, so
for it, though. Really excited, and I'm glad that we got to meet you on Instagram Live tonight.
Yeah,
It's pretty
anytime.
awesome.
Anytime. Welcome to invite me anytime. As long as my power doesn't go out like last time. So that was
Yeah, that must have been crazy for you
well, we
guys.
had all that wind. I mean, you guys probably had it out in Philly too, but I mean, I was like, well, our power's down, and I mean this nicely. I live in the middle of nowhere, north of town, so I live up towards the mountain, and I mean, when the power goes out, we lose internet, we lose everything. So
Dang, that's
yeah,
messed up.
I was actually in the Poconos that night, and we tried to do a live with my car, and the signal was pretty
yeah,
bad, as
yeah,
it turned out. So
yeah. It was
yeah, I know how that
crazy.
goes.
We have a cell. We live kind of rural area, so we have a farm behind us, and there's a cell tower in the middle of the field, and even that was down when the power was out, which was kind of like you were like, why is that happening? You know what I mean? Yeah,
Wow.
I wouldn't think a cell tower would be down just due to the power outage, but hey, I guess it's whatever way they had it wired. So
Yeah, and anybody joining us, thanks for tuning in. And we're talking with Ken from Carlisle, talking about the Ford Nationals coming up this year, and Panthers United that we're doing with Carlisle. So.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to getting biggest group we've had yet of Crown Vics out on the East Coast, putting together a good weekend.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, it could be fun. You guys do a great job every year. So
thank you.
Yeah, we'll step it up a bit this year with the tent and everything, and like I said, we'll have a bunch of stickers to give out and everything. And if you haven't registered, register, because you said currently they save what, 10% right now,
yeah,
Ken?
10%. You get your passes in the mail. Honestly, I think the bigger thing is getting your pass in the mail, so that way you can literally just cruise right into the event. You can come in Thursday and all that stuff without, a worry. That is April 15th is when that will be due. So same time as like club deadlines and a lot of other stuff. 45 days out from the event, essentially, what that date will be. So yeah, April 15th, get it in. We'll shut down, the early registration sometime, probably early morning on the 16th, probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll transition to anybody after that point. You'll have to pick up your pass here at the event. So that way we can get them out in the mail service, because we all know the mail sucks right now. And it hasn't got any better since COVID. And, it is what it is. So, we need all that time. It used to be 30 days out from the event, but, we got people coming from all over to this event. I talked to a guy last week. He's coming from Sweden. We won't mail his passes, but he's shipping 2 cars over from Sweden for the event. I talked to somebody else this morning coming from Oregon. We get people from all over the United States and, quite frankly, in some cases, the world, for this event. So it's very important to get those passes out as soon as we can, because, I've shipped stuff from here in Carlisle, and nothing against the postal service, but it sat in the post office for 4 or 5 days here in Carlisle, and it sits in Harrisburg for another 2 or 3 days, and it's a priority shipment. Like, imagine what they're doing to our normal mail. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And Derek, we have somebody, I think, was it somebody from Texas is planning to
Yeah,
come?
yeah. I was gonna mention that someone from Texas left a comment on the YouTube channel and said that he'll be driving from Texas to Carlisle this year. So I'm not sure what Panther he drives, what specific car, but yeah, someone from Texas will be attending this year.
Yeah, we might have to do a Panthers United furthest travel award or
Yeah,
something. Come
I
up
think
with
that would be.
something cool like that.
And also, Ken, you're more than welcome to come get some burgers at our
Yeah,
camp this year
yeah,
if
I'll
you're
stop
hungry.
for sure. So
Yeah.
Come on, I'll make you a ribeye.
there you go. Yeah, you guys always have some good food up there. At least that's what you were telling me last year. So
And if if anybody's on here and you can always hit up Deric or myself about if you need help with registration.
Always.
We can help you out with that or any advice. And Ken's available at Carlisle as well if there's any issues
Yeah, you can
with the
message
stuff.
us through this channel. You can message us through our Facebook, all that sort of stuff. So I mean, we're pretty readily available. If it's not me answering it, it's one of our social media team. But yeah, we've got a good team. I know you guys have a great team too for answering your questions. So yeah, hit all of us up. So
Definitely.
All right. Well, was there anything else? I know you're probably tired. I know you got a lot of work going on, and we appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate
Definitely.
the opportunity, guys.
Yeah,
So
pretty
once
much
again,
asked all of my questions. So I'm not sure if you guys have any more questions for him or.
Rob.
No, I'm good. I'm just looking forward to the weekend. I think I'm gonna come down on Thursday and start setting up and just be there. Not have to worry about the stress of traveling there Friday morning and getting there Friday, setting up. So if anybody else wants to come down Thursday, I'll be down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, like I said, it's great to
4
get a shot.
days.
Come down Thursday, have it relaxed, get your spot, and set up your tent. Yeah, man, kind of just chill. Watch all the cars come in and all the fun. So
Yeah.
Yep, and especially being able to hit the swap meet as they're unloading and before they even put something on the table.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
might get a discount.
And, hey, I'll take that.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like everybody's just feeding outside those vans when people are
Yeah.
unloading. What they
Yep.
got. So
And I gotta give a shout out to if it wasn't for Chad Lemon with the white Crown Vic with the white Grand Marquis with the 5-speed swap, I would have never gotten into the burnout contest to begin with, because the first year I came to Carlisle, I didn't have tires with me. I didn't bring any tires, and my boy's like, my dad's on the way down. He could bring you 2 tires because they race Crown Vics. They do dirt track racing with Crown Vics. And I was like, all right, the hell with it. Let's give it a shot. He brought him down. Lo and behold, I won that year, and now it's every year I'll be there competing. It'll be a tradition.
That's awesome.
yeah, no,
But thanks to Chad for getting that
people do
started.
that. We've had people go down to the swap meet and be like, "Let me go find 2 bald tires or this, that, and the other."
Yep,
Young
that's
tires.
the first thing I look for is tires at the swap meet.
Yeah, we even had people straight up be like, you know what, go into the trash cans at the end of the day on Saturday to replace their tires that they blew off their car. I know it sounds crazy, but we've had that. We've had when somebody's damaged a panel the next day on Sunday, they're down there in the swap meet trying to find a panel. And we've had cars that compete in autocross that have wrecked. Sadly into something or this, that, other, and then next day they're competing once again for whatever it might be, whatever the exhaust contest, the burnout contest, and they might have a mismatched panel on there, but hey, their car's back together at least. So
we had one of our guys wreck last year.
oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We won't go into too much about that, but
Not into that one. So.
Yeah, I actually plan on doing autocross and see, because my car is manual swap, so I have to try to see what Rob's got a big brake kit on his. I got a manual swap. We'll see what they could do in the autocross.
Yeah. Yep.
don't let that
In
big
second
brake,
and third gear, you'll be fine.
don't let that big brake kit fool you. It locks those front wheels up like that.
That's awesome.
You got to really have a modular foot on that.
Very cool.
Yeah. Now, shout out to Capital Panthers. They're planning to do another after party after the parade. Oh, and I guess you did speak on a little bit. If you want to let people know, Ken, before we let you get out of here, just tell people about the parade again.
Yeah, so we do it as a fundraiser for the Downtown Carlisle Association. That's basically the downtown portion of Carlisle. A lot of businesses and stuff like that. They really do it to drive awareness around downtown as well as use it as their own fundraiser. We collect the money when you register for the show field. But basically, I believe I'm looking it up right now to double check. I think it's $25, I think.
Yeah, it's 25.
Yeah. But basically, you register for the parade when you register for the event. And you can cruise downtown as part of a basically big old Ford parade of 400 Fords. And then they kind of do what they call a park-in party. the park, you're right in the downtown square of Carlisle in that area. Last year, we did have to deal with a slight adjustment due to some construction of the route. We're expecting that again this year. But then after that, we're hoping it'll be back to normal. For whatever reason, the PennDOT has decided they want to put in some roundabouts here in Carlisle. I won't speak on why that is, but I guess it's or give an opinion on that. But that's kind of why the parade route changed last year from what it had traditionally been. But it all worked out. Everybody still got downtown. Everybody was still, parked and displayed accordingly. So.
Yeah, the parade's a great time. If anybody's thinking about registering, the parade is awesome.
A lot of fun. You park up downtown Carlisle, all the restaurants are open.
Yeah.
And there's already tons of people walking around.
Go.
So.
You come back to the car.
Yeah, we've got a lot of great restaurants in downtown. Don't let it fool you. Some historic ones, some really just good eateries. We got a bunch of brew pubs now. Some of them are actually ranked top in. One of them just won something top in the country. Some of them won top in Pennsylvania, or top on the East Coast awards recently. So definitely check that out. Our local visitors bureau, visit cumberlandvalley.com. They actually have a full website of things to do. They also have, if you're into beer, they have a beer trail where basically you can kind of go bar hopping throughout the event and check out some of the cool distilleries, cideries, and breweries in the greater Cumberland County area, which is our greater county here in Carlisle. And some of that is right here within a stone's throw of your hotel in some cases, or even attached to your hotel or inside the hotel, some of those places. So check that out. Cumberland County and this whole area of Pennsylvania is really rich in a lot of farming and a lot of, from a cider standpoint, a lot of apples and stuff like that. So we really have some unique brew pubs and cider places here in the local area that kind of drive parts of the local economy when there isn't car shows going on. So check out more info on our website. You can get to it from our Things to Do panel. There's also all sorts of other stuff in the area. There's dirt track races you can go watch at Williams Grove, Baps, or some of the other racetracks in the area. There's go-karting, there's mini golf, there's even things outside our county like Gettysburg and stuff like that. So if you're coming for a long weekend, you can check out a lot of cool stuff. So
all right, cool. Well, thank you once again, and definitely check out. You can get CarlisleEvents.com to register, and we're registered as Panthers United, which is a club with Carlisle, and definitely try to get a lot of you guys out there. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys put on a good show.
And real quick, Deric, just touch on your on the event going on next week at not next week, 2 weeks from now in Ohio for Spec P71.
Oh yeah, Spec Panther.
Yeah, we'll let Ken jump off, and the three of us can stay because I know he's got a lot to do. We can talk about some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
thank you guys.
Thanks a lot, Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. Thank you for taking time out to join us. I know it's a late night for you, but
hey, like I said, we're here, we're working. So I'm not the only one in the office right now. So thank you.
All right, man. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Yep. We'll see you here in end of May, beginning of June.
Yes,
Appreciate it, Ken.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
All right. Take care, man. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
So yeah, we have an event coming up with Spec P71 in a Mid Ohio sports car course.
Yeah, April 13th. We're actually Easter.
They're
Sunday
guests on Sunday.
Yeah, Easter Sunday. They're gonna be a guest here on Instagram Live. I'm gonna make a flyer for it, and but yeah, in Ohio, I think it's Lexington, Ohio, April 13th. Yeah, it's gonna be a season opener. Homer's gonna be having his build on the track, so
Yep, definitely.
It's gonna be great.
Tire situation now, and trying to figure out what tires to drive there with, what tires to keep in the trunk. to use because they're doing the autocross.
And
Yeah, so though,
you've always wanted to get on the track too, right?
Yeah, I haven't had this car on a road course yet.
That's crazy.
Just autocross and a whole lot of mountain roads, but never actually on a racetrack.
yeah, well, I guess they're going to have you on the autocross.
Yeah, we'll do the autocross.
And yeah, Deric and I had a conversation with them. I mean, they'll be on this Sunday. It's Easter Sunday, 8:00.
Yep.
I won't be on this call probably, but I know you, Deric, and I guess two of the people from Spec Panthers will be on. We did talk to them. If you attend the event, you can get where some of the instructors will take you on a lap in your car. They'll drive your car and take it around the course with you in it. But that's something you guys can talk about on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll go over
I
more
confirmed
about
it with them this morning. Sunday is definitely a go. So.
Okay. Yeah, so 8:00 on Sunday, everybody should join in, check out about Spec Panther series, kind of like the original Panther racing series. It's been going on for a few years. And later in April, we have my man Pierre Luc, who's 5-speed guru, made a lot of manual swap pedal kits and a lot more. He'll be joining us later in April. So we got some cool stuff coming up.
Repost the Spec Panther flyer tonight. They wanted me to edit a few things, so the post got deleted this morning. So I'm going to repost that.
You plan on making it out to that, Deric?
Yeah, I'm gonna make. Yeah, plan on getting my car fixed. It needs brakes, ball joints, and that's it. Really, and some new front tires, and then I'll probably take the drive. Other than that, there's no issues with it. So, I'm gonna put my time in tomorrow at work, and yeah, I plan on taking the drive. So.
All right. Well, we'll try to maybe convoy out there together.
Yeah, that'll be.
You have to come this way. So you have to come across anyway, and I have to go up north anyway, so we can meet somewhere.
Yeah, we can meet midway somewhere between us two.
And maybe even, I don't know if Dale's going to make it to that one, but we can link up with Dale too. And
that'll be cool.
Yeah,
it's not too far.
Unfortunately, my work schedule, I can't. I got some shows and other stuff coming up. So between my regular job and the music thing, I got a bunch of stuff going on. So, and also upcoming, we got a special guest coming up on an off night for us. You want to tell them about who we got, Deric?
Oh, June 30th, we have the Black Car Guru will be joining us here on the Panthers United Instagram Live. That's going to be crazy.
It's exciting news.
Yeah, hopefully he brings out the moonshine and tells us some jokes. That guy's hilarious.
Yeah, if you're not following, man, it's definitely a page to watch, man. He is a funny cat about stuff, and like he will burn people that comment against him, and he'll pull out the moonshine and light into somebody.
That's like the funniest videos. But he knows his stuff when it comes to cars as well, though.
Unfiltered.
Yeah.
And on another note, with the Philly Panther meet, May 18th, I talked to Dale. I got hooked up. My friend has Han Dynasty Restaurants. He's got a chain of restaurants. It's really high-end, good Szechuan food. Not like your average corner Chinese store or anything. And we are going to do that Saturday night. It's another Philly Panther meet weekend. So Saturday night at 7:00, we're going to do a meet at the parking garage. If you've seen Dale's page, Rob page, or my page, we had a couple videos that Dale shot in the parking garage. It's an enclosed parking garage. We'll be up on the top floor. There's windows, so it's out of. Sorry, I got somebody behind me. It's kind of out of the wind and everything else. So it's indoor. So even if it rains, we'll be able to have the meet there. It's right next to, kind of connected to where the restaurant is. So we're going to do a 7:00 meet on Saturday, May 18th. We're going to meet at the parking lot, hang out for like 50 minutes. At like 7:50, we'll head over to the restaurant. it's a busy day for them because it's in University City in Philly, kind of West Philly. It's Penn, right next to Penn University. It's Penn's graduation. So Han is doing me a favor and he's going to stay open a little later for us. When you go into the restaurant, there's a right and a left side. On the right side, there's where we're going to be seated. I think it seats like 60, 65 people. There's actually a Crown Vic taxi in a mural on the wall.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
so we'll do some photos with Dale about it, but we are going to do a dinner. You know, you have to pay for your dinner for the food, but we're going to show the Crown Vic documentary on the TVs at the restaurant. So it'll be kind of a dinner and, you know, showing of the Crown Vic documentary with Dale hosting it. Then afterwards, we'll go back up to the lot and we can hang out. The parking will get validated. So if there's people that want to come to and hang out at the meet but don't want to do the dinner, you can still hang out at the lot while we do dinner real quick. You know, probably it's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most, hopefully, for the dinner. And because, like I said, Han will stay open a little bit later. That will be RSVP, so you need to hit up Philly Panther Meets and let me know if you're coming, how many people you want. This way I can give a Han an estimate of the head count. But it'll be dope. If nobody wants to hang out in the lot, if everybody's going to do the dinner, I'll probably hire somebody to do armed security, hanging out with our cars, even though it's an indoor parking garage. Want to make sure that there's somebody keeping an eye on the cars. So, like I said, I got friends that I can get to, you know, come and keep an eye on our cars while we do the dinner. Or if we got enough people that we know that aren't going to do the dinner, you know, we don't need to go that route. But you know, so basically 7 o'clock dinner, 7 o'clock meet, indoor parking garage, 8 o'clock dinner. The footage that they'll shoot is going to be kind of cool. Like I said, if you look at Rob's page, my page, Dale's page, you got some cool footage of the cars coming up the ramp and in the garage. So definitely do some filming, which will be kind of cool.
So, do you have a location for the meet on Sunday yet, though?
No,
I mean,
no, I'm
after
gonna
that.
try to. I'm still trying to work out something with the Navy Yard. If
Okay.
not, we'll do the park at Fairmont Park. I might just do a different location in
Yeah.
Fairmont. There's a number of places that we can, you know, meet up there.
Cool.
Uh, so that's worst comes to worst. I am trying to work out something with the Navy Yard just because, you know, circumstances last year that caused us not to be able to be there in that lot anymore. Which, you know, if not, you know, we'll still do a meet regardless. It just may be somewhere in Fairmont Park, either the same place I do the fall meet, or I might pick a different location in Fairmont
That'll
just to change it up a little bit.
that'll be solid. Yeah, I'm gonna repost the Han Dynasty event once we get off of here, and I guess yeah, just keep me up to date with the Sunday location, and I'll make a flyer for you and such.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on. I was gonna do it today. I didn't get time. Something else came up. I'm going to work on a hotel, probably near the airport for group rate, uh, just because stuff in the city is going to be, you know, um, a little pricey, especially on a weekend. So
Yeah.
the rates are a lot higher. So I probably will set up either a group rate or just have a hotel that is a good rated one right near the airport, which isn't far outside the city. That, you know, be a lot more reasonably priced and also, you know, a nice hotel for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
And because you want to speak on, you got the Dearborn meet.
Yeah, that's coming up in almost a month, pretty much. May Sunday, May 5th, at the Henry Ford Museum. We'll be meeting in Dearborn, Michigan. At I believe it's 9 o'clock. Either 9 or 10. I should know. I think it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's predicted on maybe 100 people or plus will show up. So a lot of people have been talking about it in that Michigan area. I'm gonna repost it um, on the first, just to get it out there a little bit more, and I'll probably make some YouTube videos. But yeah, Sunday, May 5th at 10 o'clock in Dearborn at the Henry Ford Museum. All three of us will be there, including Dale as well, and the guys from Spec Panther are actually going to take the drive too. So it's going to be a good event.
Nice. Actually, we should work on seeing about getting like a group rate hotel out there too.
Yeah.
I'll talk with you
Yeah.
about that. Maybe have a this way we get everybody that's coming like us that we need to get hotel rooms. So we could all be at the same hotel.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be
I
cool.
was even thinking, being with me, I don't mind driving. I was even thinking for Philly to save a little bit of bread. Might be cheaper for me to drive back to New York and come back to Philly again the next morning, being that it's only an hour and a half instead of
Yeah.
having a
It's only a
hotel.
couple hours, right?
Unless something's like a really good rate, it might just pay for me to drive back. Or so I thought,
It's only
Yeah, we got tolls in the tunnel too to think about. So
yeah, the tolls are killer.
gas tolls and yeah, because it's what is it now 12 or was it 12 or 15 now for the tunnel?
I think it's 15 for the tunnel. The Verrazano's like 22, 21.
dang, that's
Yeah.
expensive.
I think it's like 16 with Easy Pass. It's
That's
ridiculous.
crazy. My phone is like literally about to die, so I may have to end this.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, we're babbling. So yeah, this next Sunday, 8 o'clock Easter Sunday, we got the Spec Panther guys talking about this series and about the event that they're doing next month. And we'll be back the first Sunday. I didn't even think of the calendar. The first Sunday of April, we'll be on with Dale. Shout out to him. Get Dale back on here with us and
Yep.
talk about everything else.
Yes, sir. So thanks
Sounds good.
everyone for checking in. And yeah, this was fun. Talking to Ken was great. And be on the lookout for my page. You guys know I post a lot. So all the event updates will be posted on my page. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, and then just before we leave, yeah, I don't know if you pulled that video because they unfortunately when we tried to do the Panther live walk around spotlight live on my car, I didn't know the signal got really blurry because I was in the Poconos at the time. So
Yeah,
we'll revamp that.
I took it off YouTube. I'm gonna take it off Instagram and Facebook as well as soon as we get off here. So we'll do it
Yeah,
again.
we'll redo that maybe this Sunday or next or whatever. We'll get that we'll redo that and see how that works.
Okay.
Let Deric know if people like that or not. So, all right. Thank you,
All
everybody.
right.
Thank you. And I'll talk to you in homework soon.
Sounds good. I'll be seeing you in a few weeks, Derek, down in
Yes,
Ohio.
sir. I'll be texting you.
Yep, definitely.
All right. I'll see
All
you
right,
guys.
guys.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
You as well.
Take care, guys.